Thank you for downloading this in-ear entertainment podcast. You're listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and it gives life to thee. That was sonnet number 18, the sonnet that every single person in the world will know or know part of, maybe the first couple of lines of the last couple. We're going through the Shakespeare sonnets. I'm Mark Chatterley, and I'm joined by, I'm going to call him handsome this time, the handsome
Thierry Heles.
There we go. If I don't,
thank you, Mark.
That's okay. If I don't give you enough adjectives, I know you'll disappear and won't do this with me anymore. So, sonnet 18. It's the well-known one.
Very, very famous sonnet. It is. Well, at least to be honest, I only ever know the first two lines by heart. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely yet more temperate. And then my brain just goes, it's that one. Everyone knows it.
And everyone switches off at that point. They go, oh, Shakespeare. But this one itself has spawned quite a lot. I mean, shall I compare thee to a summer's day is a very well-known phrase. Darling buds of May has become a kind of well-known phrase in English. There was a sitcom in the 80s called The Darling Buds of May. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I don't think I've come across that one. That was quite... Well, I was born in the 80s and...
Yes, it had.
I only moved here 6 years ago, so
it had David Jason in it before he became Dowboy on Only Fools and Horses, and it had Catherine Zeta-Jones as a sort of 16-year-old girl in it. It was kind of the show that launched her career, I believe. And it was as all comedies were about then, a bit pants, it hasn't aged well, I guess is the way to say that. But you can keep going through this, and you can see all of these phrases that have come into modern usage through just this sonnet, which is quite nice. It's quite a nice one to see for that. Or are they the only two examples? Maybe I picked that up too much. But this is we're no longer in the procreation sonnets.
Yeah, we've made it through those. We're still in the fair youth sonnets, though.
So are these still addressed to the young youth? It's just we've moved on from telling him to shag, and now we're moved to just talking about him.
Basically, yeah. There's no more please have children stuff going on. Just oh my god, you're so pretty.
And just in case anyone wonders, why these do go on for a while. These go on to the sonnet 126, I believe, is the last one in the fair youth section.
Yeah, and then we get the Dark Lady sonnets.
Which are awesome.
I prefer the Dark Lady sonnets overall. Just
the ones I know
more
of,
interesting and
yeah, I agree. The ones I know of, I tend to like. They have more, I don't know, more pleasing imagery in it from my point of view. I don't like this lovey-dovey stuff very much. But
yeah, I'm not a big fan. I prefer the dark one. But then this one. Because he says, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Which sounds like a good thing, because summer we associate with, well, you have nice weather, long days, you have enough food, you don't need to worry about keeping your house warm.
Yes.
And then he goes, summer's day is not actually that great. You are more lovely and more temperate, and summer's lease hath all too short a day. So it just... Was it sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines? So it's just like, yeah, it's summer, but it's so warm sometimes. It's just...
It's the very British ideal of summer. We look forward to summer with all our might, and then it gets there and we're like, oh, it's too hot.
I guess, well, but you can have that attitude to every season. I mean, I can't wait for the BBC to go on about the white stuff that's falling out of the clouds again.
It's not been snowing round by me. Has it started snowing?
I don't think it has. It might be up in Scotland, but it can't be long before the BBC launches its annual "We're running out of grit" news reporting.
We like to see the negative in everything. That's the British way.
That's what was I was listening to the Nerdist podcast. They did an interview with Richard Ayoade.
Okay.
And he just said that the British in autumn they just look outside and go, there's leaves falling. We find that very perturbing, which just sums up the British attitude towards weather quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. We like to see negative in everything. So this is another one of those sonnets where probably if you're listening to this series, you would have heard an analysis of sonnet number 18 over and over again because it's the go-to one. It's the one that's been turned into songs and stuff. Well, songs, music has been put to, and I'm reading off of the Wikipedia as I told people I did last week. Pink Floyd guitarist Dave Gilmour recorded Sonnet 18 as a song for his wife. I'm sure that's something to know.
Sounds interesting.
I don't quite know how you'd put it to music, but I guess you can.
It's just like lyrics. It's got a very constant rhythm and it's got the rhymes, so it should be. I'm not a musician, but I imagine if you have a rhythm and you have lyrics, and it can't be that hard to come up with a melody. Well, it's obviously hard to come up with a melody, but easy enough to do
if you've got the other
when
bits
when you have the structure and yeah.
And it's done to death. I mean, it's used a lot in weddings. It's used a lot in love poetry. And if you get books of love poetry, this one will be in there almost certainly. And it's just, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a bit like, who's the guy that sung "You're Beautiful"?
I'm very, very shit with pop music. "You're Beautiful." Is that James Blunt?
That's the one.
Is that song you're thinking of?
And it's just that idea that I don't think James Blunt is necessarily bad, but people don't like him because he was played too much. And that happens. There's a few artists that happens to. And I think that's the same with Sonnet 18. I don't think it's inherently bad. I just think it's overused so much that I've now built up this kind of callus where Sonnet 18 is in my head. And it infuriates me now.
I don't think I've read any of the sonnets often enough to hate them or be fed up with them.
I'm definitely fed up with this one. I'm quite happy to say that. I would admit.
It'll be more fun once we get to the Dark Lady sonnets, and
the others
we can laugh about the nice imagery there. Was it "My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun"?
Yes. Whereas this is saying the sun's too bright and shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I can say that hasn't been said before, I guess, is where I am.
I have a feeling pretty much everything that could be said about this sonnet, which again, it's like the previous one. We just basically going, everything's been said.
Yeah, and like the previous one, this one doesn't have a lot of layers to it, I guess. Shakespeare was kind of taking some downtime when he was writing these.
We're just quite nice, just lounging in the living room, just going, I'm just gonna have a lazy day today.
I'll knock out a sonnet later. Just the one though. I could see him doing that. A duvet day for Shakespeare.
The duvet sonnets. I mean, that we should call them that. The duvet sonnets.
Starting on 17, this one's definitely included in the duvet sonnets. We've got the return of death with a capital D in this, the seeing death as a person, but again, that's not as thrilling as seeing time and decay, which were the other two as persons, because death as a person has been around as a metaphor for forever. So yeah, shall I be controversial? Shall I say I think this was a lazy sonnet on Shakespeare's part?
It might just come across that way because you've read it so many times.
Yeah, that's probably, and it's the one that was brought up when I was in school. It's the one the teachers, or it was their go-to sonnet, I guess.
I mean, it does still have like "Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade." It's still quite a nice image. He's basically saying death can't even be proud of of one day killing you, and it just
Yeah, that's
got nice imagery in it. Yes. But then I guess if you've been reading it for
shall not fade nor lose possession.
Well, all your life. At some point you just go, I'm fed up.
Thou wanderest in his shade, when internal lines to time thou growest.
And I think I've lost.
Okay, I'm not connected to you anymore. Oh, nuts! We were going so well, and not now. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know what happened there. That was.
I can't. I just got a black screen now for you.
Hang on. That's probably because. How about now? Oh, now?
Yep, there you are.
That was weird. I'm still recording and hijacking both of them. That's good. I'm gonna have to do some fancy editing there. So we were talking about death and wondrous in his shade. So that's cool. I can go back to that. That's cool. Then I do like the last two lines in this. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and gives life to thee. So as long as men are alive and can see, so long lives this. And this, I presume, is referring to the sonnet and gives life to thee. So it's moved on from saying, I guess, you have to have a child to be eternal, to saying the fact that I've written all these sonnets about you has made you in a way eternal. And I suppose that's more true than him having a child, because we are still discussing it and we are still talking about it.
But then we also don't know who the person is.
No, you would have thought one of the sonnets would at least name them.
Well, we have. It might be 9. Is it 19? I can't remember now. There's one where people have been looking at it and they think they found a certain combination of letters that pops up, and
okay,
I don't. It's
like it was a
it's
code.
19 or 20. We'll get to it. Yeah,
like the Da Vinci Code. That would be
oh dear God,
an
Dan
all
Brown.
the more boring movie than the Da Vinci Code was, which was quite boring. It was having the Shakespeare
you say that.
code.
Did you see Angels and Demons? That was
No.
even worse.
Didn't see that one, thankfully. But I mean, I guess the argument to me is, will we ever really know? Or are we meant to know as well? Because everyone keeps going, oh, it could have been so-and-so's son and this posh person's son. But it could equally have been the boy living next door to Shakespeare, who was a carpenter and never became famous. I mean, it could easily be that. It could be anyone. It could be your descendants. Well, not your descendants, your ancestors. Sorry, wrong way.
I don't have any descendants that I know of, but yeah, I doubt Shakespeare would write about them either way.
but it could be anyone. But I suppose the idea that this person, whoever they are, if they indeed existed, has been made eternal through these sonnets is quite nice.
I guess it's just that people want to know. You read 126 sonnets about someone. You want to know who that person was. You just.
I wonder if
basically
that's
human nature. You can't just go, oh, that's fine. I'll not wonder about it.
Do you think maybe that's a modern take on it? Because we do have all these celebrity mags and stuff like that. Even normal papers we're reading normal broadsheets. You can't escape from the so and so is now dating so and so and they're famous, therefore it's news. I wonder if
but at the same time I guess they're creating the demand, but they're also fulfilling a demand that was there anyway. I mean, there's always been gossip and people have always been talking about their neighbours and telling secrets and bitching about people behind their back.
I guess so. Yeah. I will take that point. I'm quite happy to bring Sonnet 18 to a rest and put it to bed and never look at it again. And if anyone ever asks me to read it at a wedding, I will refuse.
Just play this podcast then.
Yes, it's just me going, oh no.
Until death do you part.
Yes.
Or until Uncle Billy pops up and
demands your child runs off at the age of 12 and has sex.
Unless you find out his name is Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin, good. Anyway, would you like to read Sonnet 18 and
I'll give it a go.
give it a go? Excellent.
Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath too... Yeah, I had to stumble. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance, or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death wreck thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as man can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Excellent. That was Sonnet 18, probably the most famous of Shakespeare's sonnets. I've been Mark Chatterley.
I've been Thierry Heles.
And we will see you again next time for Sonnet 19.
Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to Shakespeare Sonnets with Mark Chatterley and Thierry Heles. This has been an In-Ear Entertainment podcast. To listen to other podcasts or find out more about In-Ear Entertainment, go to www.inearentertainment.com.